This is the PlayStation Zeitgeist review for the PlayStation 4, or should I say, Noir 2.0. Welcome, this is Novid from District 4 of Last Station. Now, specifications and how we got this machine. But be for real though, it is a lot of money, but it is worth the money. Let me explain. PlayStation 4 has a lot of interesting nuances that the PlayStation 3 does not have. Let me tell you about some of the nuances that the PlayStation 3 succeeds better than the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 4 does better than PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 both use FreeBSD as their operating system, which is kind of interesting to me because I have dabbled in the, not Unix, I have dabbled in Unix a little bit, and I have dabbled in the FreeBSD things a couple of times, for schoolwork, that sort of thing. And one of the reasons why this particular OS is strong, but it can be misused if it's not taken care of correctly, because it is an actual system that actually you have to have a lot of know-how in assembly in order to use this particular system correctly. And a lot of the FreeBSD and BEOS things are connected to the internet. If you have seen what is called tar balls and what do they call it? And all these other things, the jail system that they use in order to prevent unwanted users from going into websites that they shouldn't be going into. That sort of things, for security measures, you have to know in Linux in order to keep security on the up and up. There's a lot of other things too, but I don't want to get too much into the technical details of the operating system too much. That's not what we're looking for. Let's look at the looks of the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 2 was huge back in that time. Huge, okay? The PlayStation 4, in some way, is smaller but bigger. Let me explain. Its dimensions, how tall it is. Its height is smaller than the PlayStation 2, but it's larger width-wise than the PlayStation 3 I got here, or it's nearly the same size width-wise. I still got a PlayStation 3 Fat over here, and it still works pretty well. Hasn't broken down. Bought it for the same price that I bought the PlayStation 4 5 years ago. Same price. Even got 2 games for it too. And I got like, oh my goodness, 60 games for it. And there's some obscure games I got for it. Yeah, the PlayStation 4 in some ways is beautiful but more subdued. I'm surprised by it, because with the PlayStation 2, it was this high-tech thing. It played DVDs. It was the whole enchilada. It was start of the entertainment systems that Philips, CDI, and the TurboGrafx tried to be, but ultimately failed at. PlayStation 3 was a little bit more of the same, but with the Blu-ray thing coming in, and Microsoft wanted going like, we don't want HD, DVD, and all these other things, it became a problem. So PlayStation 3 won the same way the PlayStation 2 had, but in some ways it didn't win. It helped won the format war, but it didn't win the console war, which was a very interesting juxtaposition. And it was part of the reasons why Japan started moving towards mobile, but let's not talk about spilled eggs and spoiled milk and whatever. We're here to talk about the PlayStation 4 and focus on that now. There is a hard drive that is 500 gigabytes. And the way they set this system is that most of the physical drive is more of an installer than an actual player. And it will eat your hard drive alive if you don't take your time with this. So, you should invest in at least a 2 terabyte drive. No, I'm serious. You should invest into at least a 2 terabyte drive that has great speed. It's going to cost you 1/2 of the PlayStation 4, but it is a worthy investment, or at least 1/3 of what the PlayStation 4 cost if you get the SDD. But I want to warn you about these SDD drives. If they fail, you're screwed. But they're starting to get better. But they haven't built the 2 terabyte or at least a 1 terabyte SDD. It's becoming a little bit of difficult. It's becoming difficult to do that. So they're still researching about that. No worries about that. But seriously, 2 terabyte, 722 RPMs. Some 54,000 RPM hard drives do better than the 720s, but just to be on the safe side, get the 722 terabyte ones. But don't try and get the Western Digital. Try to find Samsung, Hitachi's, something of that nature. Unfortunately, there's one little short caveat I want to tell you. Even though that the PlayStation 4 has improved as a Blu-ray player, the PlayStation 3 is the best Blu-ray player still on the market. How is that possible, Patrick? Well, let's put it this way. Even though the 250 version, the Yukamura version of the PlayStation 4 allows you to go frame by frame on a disc, okay? It doesn't have the same robustness as the PlayStation 3 versions. The PlayStation 3 a Blu-ray player. Even though the player for the PlayStation 4 is a little bit faster than the PlayStation 3. 3 times as fast as the PlayStation 3. Let me make that clear. It doesn't have the same robustness as the PlayStation 3. So this is the interesting juxtaposition that we have here. We have a great Blu-ray player in the PlayStation 3. Still plays those Blu-rays like nobody's business. You have a faster one with the PlayStation 4, but there's a lot of things still missing. 3D support, other types of supports as well, different coloring supports, that sort of thing that they are missing. But right now the PlayStation 3 is the perfect machine. It will be more than perfect on the PlayStation 4 once they get all the other things fixed, plus the 4K thing they want to add into the PlayStation 4 as well, which will lengthen its life as an entertainment console. And speaking of entertainment consoles, I'm going to make this also very clear. As an entertainment console, and I'm going to be fair to everybody here, the PlayStation 4 does its job. It does its job. It does a lot of things. Spots one as an entertainment console. So if you're looking for an entertainment console, you either stick with the PlayStation 3, even though it has a lot of limitations, or yeah, I have to give DeMarco his props. That's the only time I'm going to give Vert and DeMarco their props. Because the rest of the news is mostly good. Because good news, ladies and gentlemen, this is the best gaming machine since the old days. And let me tell you about gaming machines. Let me make this clear. There are so many ways you can share your game. There are so many ways you can preview a game. There are so many ways you can buy a game. This is the first machine that allows you to, as long as it's in the PlayStation architecture, let's be fair now, to buy, see, preview, produce, share, unify, get together, party chat, everything you consider what a gamer is in the 21st century, what gamers should be in the 21st century, the PlayStation 4 is that machine. Especially now. The PlayStation 4 is that machine. This console was built for Bloodborne. It wasn't necessarily for Destiny, but it was built for Bloodborne. Because they said, yeah, we built the PlayStation 4 for Dark Souls and Demon Souls after we rejected Demon Souls. Which is interesting. But that's an interesting phrase that Shu made. It was built for Bloodborne. Once you play Bloodborne on the PlayStation 4, then you realize, I don't get this anywhere else. I don't get this on my phone. I don't get this on Steam. Xbox One. When I'm playing Bloodborne, I know on the PlayStation 4, I know this is what the machine was built. Maybe built for The Witcher 2, since a lot of the people who are making The Witcher are enamored with the Souls Bloodborne series. The controller is the most advanced controller in the history of video games. That is also its downfall. Its batteries just die. Ouch! You want to see something? The battery just dies on you. So comfortable. The PlayStation 3 controller was okay. The controller is a godsend from the heavens. Now, I would say something dirty about Nora at this point, but I'm not that type of guy. But let me just make it clear. Life, hometown, lights, camera, roof, house, bed. Let's just keep it that way. You don't know what Life in hometown is and what the rest of it said. Y'all lost. You need to go play Sanguine Kangura a little bit. All right? That's a little bit of an in-joke. Inside baseball joke. Stop talking about baseball. It's the first game of the season. Now, that controller has a speaker. And certain games use that speaker. Like Infamous Second Son, when you're gaining energy from smoke. And it immerses you in the game in different ways. So that speaker immerses you in the game in different ways. And I wish more developers will use that as well. Inside the PlayStation is the legendary 8-gig GGG Finecone. Well, yes, it is a wondrous gift of technology that such RAM is inside that machine. But a lot of people say that the processors, which are basically mobile processors, are inherently weak. Because of the way they run the Quad Jaguar cores, which are inherently weak. If separated, but together they're strong enough to run a lot of the game. A lot of the developers have been saying that we pushed the PlayStation 4 to its limits and it's giving us great results. But there has been some questions about some of the ways they are adding camera occlusion and AF issues with anti-sculptic filtering and all these other things with these PlayStation games and why they look a little bit blurry and all these other things. Is it a bug in the system or those sort of things? That has to be figured out sooner rather than later, because a lot of the other games are coming out and they may have solved these issues, quirks in the system, as you might say. That being said, sometimes it goes a little slow when you have a game and you're trying to go into other places as well. Say like in Bloodborne, when it's loading, you're trying to go into the manual to re-immerse yourself into the controls. It goes a little bit slow in that. It's not as quick, but in the future, it will get better. I played it for 6 days and I've used it for 6 days. And now I have a PlayStation Plus account as well for 3 months. A lot of the things that hurt the PlayStation 3 do not exist in the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4, strangely enough, a lot of the games don't have they don't have the autosave feature on anymore in a lot of the games. And that's something new to me. As of 250, the new update, trophies can be deleted, completely. No 0% trophies anymore. Suspend and Resume is available, and it works pretty damn well. I have not tested remote play because I don't have a PlayStation Vita. I will review the Vita and its remote play very soon, but I heard nothing but good things about it, but I will review it myself, and I'll let you know if it's a good deal or not. Its particular thing concerning uploads, Twitch, and all these other things. First off, I'm going to say something about this, and I want you to listen to me very carefully. This is the first ever machine in the modern era. Not BlackBerry, even though BlackBerry is the best mobile phone out there. Yeah, I hear the Smattering Bulls right now. Sound! The BlackBerry doesn't do a good job as much as people wanted it to. Apple certainly doesn't do a good job. And Android, you have your life in your hands, bruh! Now, PlayStation 4 is the first modern machine to protect your privacy as best as it can. Even though they have to go through the whole ELA thing and whatnot, but it protects your privacy as best as you can, even though there has been a lot of other issues. Payment and non-payment of stolen items. And that has to change. Seriously, it really does have to change. To me, personally, I don't want my name out there. I only want my information concerning what I do with the play. You can have friends of friends see your information and whatnot. They log you out of Google once you finish using YouTube. They log you out of Twitch once you finish using Twitch. They log you out of Facebook once you stop using Facebook. Whole lots of things. If you don't want to be seen, you don't have to be seen. They allow you to be offline to play games. They allow you to be online to share with your friends, that sort of thing. A lot of the companies said they will not use your information to divulge all these other things and whatnot, unless you agree to it. I think even though it's not perfect, even though it's susceptible, heck, it is a step forward and not a step backward, because you don't want all your information out there. You just want to play your game with your friends and that sort of thing. But with inside the system, the same good-natured, mostly good-natured PlayStation fan base still comes to the PlayStation 4 and makes online gaming worth it. Concerning the video uploads and downloads, just to be fair, you have to have a fast connection. I'm saying files type connection. If you really are into the whole streaming thing and all these other things, if you really want to do this, get a files connection. Get some sort of connection that goes beyond 24 MBS and whatnot. I'm not playing with y'all. It's serious. You don't want to be standing there for like hell 90 minutes trying to get a 10-minute thing down, which is why for this particular website and my particular YouTube channel, I tend to use the Twitch feed to upload to my YouTube, which is a lot faster for me going to YouTube uploading this because it's not as fast enough. But as the recording thing and its share play thing there, which I haven't really gone into depth yet, I believe that thing is a little bit like Sony Vegas, but in a much smaller fashion. And Sony Vegas is a pretty damn good piece of software, let me tell you that much. So Share Factory does a little bit of the same things. It tends to be, a little bit antsy with it. You can turn off the PlayStation 4 completely, unplug it and move it around. You can put it at rest mode, but they say don't put it on the rest mode. Don't unplug it or there will be problems. Same thing with the PlayStation 3, but PlayStation 3 didn't really have a rest mode. They had a wake up mode. There's a lot of things I haven't discovered yet. Really, there hasn't been I discovered the record, I discovered the share functions, which is important, and they don't look and pry into your privacy like that. Movie player is good, but not as great as the PlayStation 3 is. The way they handle their accounts, the way they handle multiple accounts is interestingly enough, you can have multiple accounts and they will work on the main master account. So long as you have a master account. so other people can use the same device as well to talk to their friends. And it is extremely quiet. It is around the same amount of quiet as the PlayStation 3, but the PlayStation 3 starts going harder as the game wears on. It starts going harder, it starts blowing out more air. PlayStation 4 is much quieter than its predecessor, way quieter. I like the design. It's slanted. The design is interesting to me. It's not totally slanted, it's not totally curved, it's not there. It's a Ramazor that gives space, but it's not confined space. It's like the TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside than the outside. What else that I could say about the PlayStation 4 that I can give glowing reviews? I need more time with this. Because, to be honest with you, I like the machine a lot. I really do. But there are a lot of improvements they need to do. First off is the controller. I'm of two minds about their entertainment setup. One, I'm saying, don't be the entertainment machine. Be the gaming machine. You're perfect as the gaming machine. You're perfect. 10 out of 10. The only thing you need to visit the controller. But as you understand correctly, they're moving towards television. You understand, with the PlayStation View, and they're planning to have a PlayStation View channel where they're gonna put Powers and all their other all their other shows that they want to put out for the PlayStation fan base, so they can have their own little cable channel, which is half HBO, half Aniplex, have a little bit of CBS, a little bit of TBS, a little bit of an Adult Swim, that sort of thing they want to produce. So, and another mind is saying that they have to kind of build out an entertainment complex with entertainment system with the PlayStation 4. But I don't know if they're going to do it the same way as the Xbox One is. I think they might do it in a completely different direction that will keep its gaming apparatus together, but having more of an entertainment setup that won't offend the gaming fans, such as us. So we're gonna see by the end of the year how they're going to go about it. We're especially gonna see it by E3, just to let you guys know what their plans are for you. Controller, they need to figure out how to get more power out of the controller. If they may have to, I love the design of the controller. I think it's the most advanced system ever. But they got to put a better battery on this. And there may be a little bit of a hitch with one of the buttons. With L3 or R3, there's a bit of a hitch. Sometimes when you're playing Bloodborne, it comes out too tight. And it gets a tiny bit loose because it doesn't really have a dead zone, but it kind of has a dead zone. It's Schrodinger's controller. Schrodinger's joystick, if you want to put it that way. It's dead. It has a dead zone, but it's not really a dead zone. And it's kind of not flimsy. I love the rest of the controller, but it's kind of like, loose, but not loose. So sometimes when you're playing Bloodborne, it goes like, and then you press one button, and then you're trying to go, is it loose? Is it not loose? It's strange because the way the joystick is shaped, because it's one bump to, I still haven't gotten used to that part. I gotten used to every other controller with the DualShock family. This one is going to take a little bit more time. Oh, I should not forget the voice controls on this one. Voice controls have improved, especially since 2.50. But I still think it needs a lot more work. Not as robust as one's version, but Xbox One had this whole thing with Command and the NSA, which is partly true, of course. Sorry, Bird. They had this little issue with Snowden and the NSA, and they were watching us, and they were watching the kids and all that. Yeah, they were in your girlfriend's basement. But voice controls sort of work, don't really work, but for me, it's more like a toy instead of a useful utility. It might be more useful, but they need to get this thing more situated. There's still a lot of things I will look into, and next month I'll give a short review of what more I've learned from the PlayStation 4. But let's put this on a simple scale. You want this PlayStation 4? 20 million people have not lied. Germany, Japan, the US all clamored for it. It is ownage. Get it now. PlayStation 4 is available on most retailers for $399.99 plus tax, except in Delaware, where I got both the PlayStation 4 and 3. 5 years apart. Same store. So that's the PlayStation 4 review for now. We will have another one next month. Small reviews, more things that I've learned from the PlayStation 4 as well. So this is the PlayStation Zeitgeist Special Edition review for the PlayStation 4. We hope you enjoy. More reviews coming soon. Enjoy your time on the PlayStation Zeitgeist. We'll have more soon later.